Hi, it's Scott Allen, and in part 2 of my Lions series, I'm going to look at the Lions' potential locks and how their line-out will work. I think Paul O'Connell from Ireland is an automatic choice as one of the locks. He was the captain of the 2009 Lions tour to South Africa, and many thought he might be the captain again. He's a good line-out operator both in attack and defence, and he's an experienced line-out caller. Despite the fact that he's been injured for most of 2013, I have no doubt that Warren Gatland, and for that matter any other coach, would want a guy with this much experience and such a great leader on the field, even though he's not captain, in your starting team. There were some doubts earlier in the year as to whether he'd be fit for the tour, but since coming back from injury, he's been playing really well with Munster, where he's the captain, and he was obviously also previously the Irish captain and the Lions captain. Around the field he plays quite tight, exactly what you'd want at least one of your locks doing. He doesn't offer a lot of threat in attack, but he's a tough man, he keeps turning up and he can be hard to pull down. His work rate's really good. Combined with the two props I nominated in part 1, Adam Jones and Cian Healy, they're going to provide a really experienced base for their tight five. And that'll give Gatland the opportunity to select a couple of slightly less experienced players in the forward pack. In particular, I think that's going to allow him to select Richie Gray from Scotland to partner O'Connell in the second row. Gray's 2.05 metres tall, or about 6'9". He's just over 120 kilos, so he's a big man, but he's only 23. So I think he'll really benefit from working alongside O'Connell. He's a good line-out operator, obviously given his height, but I haven't seen him calling line-out, so I don't think he's an option there. He's got a really good work rate around the park, and you'll see him moving from playing in tight to getting out wide and offering some options in attack. He's a strong man, but as I say, he's still young and a bit raw. He can play both sides of the scrum, and I've been quite impressed with the way he's played tight head lock in the games I've watched, so I think that's where he'll pack in the Lions scrum. Even if Sitaleki Tamani's on the field for the Wallabies, Gray's going to be the biggest man on the field. And I think he'll enjoy the hard, dry grounds in Australia, which will give him the ability to break out and run a little more than he does on Northern Hemisphere fields. As you can see from these clips, he's quite skillful, and he's also got a fair bit of pace for a big man. The Lions do have another big man in their squad, Ian Evans from Wales, but I think he's a backup option. The other option would be Jeff Parling from England. He's a solid player, but I think Richie Gray offers just that little bit extra that the coaches will be looking for. The fifth lock on tour is Alun Wyn Jones from Wales, and I think he'll be on the bench. He can play either 6 or as lock. He's played 70 tests for Wales, and he's been a solid performer for Warren Gatland. There was actually talk that he may be the Lions captain on this tour. Because he can play both blindside flanker and lock competently, he's a great player to have on the bench to give you some extra flexibility. He played a part in all 3 tests when Wales toured Australia in 2012. We didn't see anything special, and none of the clips I've watched from him in Northern Hemisphere games suggest that he's a particular threat. But he's a good solid player with a lot of experience, exactly what I think Gatland will be looking for as backup on the bench. So overall I think the Lions will have some size in their locks, a good blend of experience and youth, but I'm not seeing too many threats from their locks. Part 3 of the series will cover the Lions back row and their halves.